Hey, que pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my sponsors, my anchor sponsors, Camilo, Sergio, Jake, and Dylan. Thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast. I also want to thank David Gasellum. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the Imperial or San Diego counties, make sure you contact David. He's not only a realtor, but an investor with over 20 years of experience, and he'll teach you along the way. One of the most important investments of your life. His phone number is 760-235-9576. You can also find him on Facebook. Just search David Gasellum and you'll find him. I've been trying to promote our local businesses. You know, I'll pick a local business and promote them just for free, just so that we, these hard times, we need to support our local small businesses. Today, I want to shout out my friends at El Mexican Jumping Ring Taqueria in Brawley. I want to send a shout out to the Castillo boys who are cooking up some really good Mexican food. You can find them in Brawley at 129 South 6th Street. And you can call them up at 760-623-1150. I'm not sure if they're open right now, but make sure you call them out, stop by and support local businesses. Also, before I begin, I just want to make sure to let everybody know that this is not an endorsement. It's just an opportunity for the candidate or my guest today to kind of like get to know herself and kind of like reach out to the community and see why she might be the candidate for you these upcoming elections. So with that, let's get started. My guest today is Margarita Magallanes. I don't know if you like Margarita or Maggie. Like, what do people call you?
Well, everyone calls me Maggie. Everyone that is close to me and knows me personally. But I decided to start using Margarita. That's the name my mother gave me in God, right? And Maggie felt like a nickname. It's a nickname, but I decided just Margarita. That's my name. Let me just use it.
Yeah, that's my mom's name as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like you're the first time on the podcast. So like my guests that are beginners or first timers on the podcast, I kind of have them tell us a little bit about themselves. So can you tell us a bit about you, who you are, and were you born here in the Calexico? You grew up here. What's the 411 on Margarita?
Okay, so I was born in Brawley, and then I went to field singing for like kinder and first grade. Then I went to second grade on Jefferson, then Dual, then De Anza. And then in De Anza, that's when I started traveling with my mom to Monterey County, to Salinas. And then I was like in 6 schools over there in that county, and then came back. I was in and out of schools because of the seasons of the agriculture. And then after, in my adult life, I stayed here. I decided to stay here in Calexico with my family, and I thought I should move out, but then I decided to stay and open my own business in some future. And then I started having a family, children, and then one of the things that really got to me is that I remember when my mother worked a lot and my dad. And they didn't have a lot of time for us because they needed to work to put food on the table, to pay the bills and all that good stuff. And I said to myself, when I'm at least 30 and I need to figure out a way where I can have flexibility, freedom to go to my children's activities, Christmas parades, Christmas singing, all the good stuff. So I started my career in finance when I was 19. I started working in a couple of companies here, businesses in the Valley, and then in San Diego. And then when I decided to get my tax license, it was in 2010. And then after, I was in a lot of trainings and workshops. And I couldn't go back to formal education to get like a bachelor's and master's. But what I did is I went to IBC and I picked the classes I thought I needed: business and law, accounting, and all that good stuff. After, I went to CET, and it was a very, very good training. It was a 6 to 8 month training, hands-on training, and it prepared me to with my license. I really got a lot better. working, figuring out stuff, learning with IRS forums, and then in 2016, that's when I made my jump. I was like, okay, we need to open a business. And then I started from home with 30 clients, and after that, every year the business has been growing. I was the founder, and then my family has joined in. I have cousins, I have friends that are licensed and then are helping in the business. And it's really nice and cool that mothers like me have the opportunity to have leverage the business in a way to have the time with their children at home and work from home with the computer and have that flexibility to book their appointments and work from the office or from home. So that's pretty much me. I have 4 daughters, 6, 8, 12, and 14. And I'm engaged. We already set a date for March. Probably ask me like, oh, she's engaged and have 4 daughters. So it's a very, very long story, but it's really nice and beautiful and funny. So maybe we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I bet. What made you decide to run for school board, Calexico School Board?
That's a really good question. So my office is in El Centro. I live in Calexico, and my Nana and Tata live in El Centro. You know how that goes. Like Nana and Tata, when you have them around, like there is such a big support system. And they were the ones who always helped me take care of my young ones, the 6 and the 8-year-old. So before, my little ones used to go to Meadows Union High School. They went to kinder and 1st and 2nd grade. But now that that my family grew, I was breaking myself in so many pieces. And I was like, okay, I live in Calexico. I'm going to stay in Calexico. My family's here. And I'm going to move my 2 girls to Calexico. And then my oldest 2 girls are already here in Calexico. And let me just straight this out. And instead of whining and complaining about the issues that I don't like or what's happening, I went ahead and just throw myself out there to do something about it. And that's when I decided, like, okay, there's something happening here. Let's figure something out. I don't have any background on political. I'm not a politician, but what I do know is that I work very, very hard, and everything I get involved with, I'm very passionate about. And especially, and it has to do with children, my kids, and the community. So
how do you feel about, this board is all men, and if you're elected, you would be, the only woman on the board, and it's been, I mean, if it's been like that for a while, like where it's, all men. So what do you think you would bring to the board if as a woman if you get elected?
I feel so. You asked me 2 questions. What do you think of the board being a man? And then what would I bring as a female if elected? I think the men that are in the board work really hard. That they're doing their job. They're working good. But women and men, we don't think the same. We are not the same. And if we can bring a woman's perspective, a mother's perspective, parents' perspective, it would really be beneficial. When we bring different minds together, we have different ideas, and then we can come up with something beautiful, something great. And I think the board needs a mother, not only one, a couple in the future. But that's what I think.
Does it kind of bother you that there's 2 open spots and there's only 3 people running for the? I mean, if you wouldn't have run, like, the seats would have been filled, uncontested, and it would be again, the same board. Does it kind of like bother you that the community is not getting involved in, trying to make a change?
So I went to a workshop that they got. It was like broken down how the spots or the seats that were going to be available in Calexico. And I knew that there was going to be two. And when I spoke to my fiance about this, he said, run for city council. I'm like, no, that's scary. That's scary. School board is scary too. But I was like, no, we have children, and really to build a better, a beautiful community city, we need to start with the children, because we're all complaining. I mean, I'm complaining about stuff in the city. But to have citizens involved, we have to educate the children to be involved. So I think I'm better off being at the school district than in the city right now. So went ahead and decided that's when I said, okay, I'm going to be in the city. I expected that more people that were going to throw their name out there, but it's different this year. The last 2 years it was around 7, and then 4 years ago around 7, and this is just I guess, I don't know, simple, maybe.
I mean, it's I guess less competition, but yeah, it's kind of weird that it's only like 3 people, and then there's like I don't know how many for city council. So there's been a kind of like a trend here in the valley where a lot of I know you're young, because I feel like that I'm young myself, and you're young, you're younger than me. So I feel that there's a trend here in the valley where a lot of young people are getting involved and running for elected positions. How do you feel of these? You can tell like there's people that want change in the community. How do you feel about more and more young people getting involved in making these kinds of decisions and taking a seat on the table, whether it's school board or city council? Because in El Centro there's 2 guys that are fairly young that are running for school board as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. It's I was inspired by people around the valley. I was inspired by women to run. It was very, very scary to just pick up the packet. And but then I said to myself, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? And what do I have to lose? Nothing, right? And then I think it's good. It's whether I'm elected or not, hopefully everyone votes for me, right? But whether I'm elected or not, I believe I'm gonna be able to move the needle of people to be more invested in their community. And not only me, the rest of the Imperial Valley, the young people, that the trend you mentioned, they're motivating people. They're inspiring people, and that, I think that's good. That's
you mentioned women and how many, I saw a picture where you guys took a picture at what was it, El Centro City Hall, I think it was, and there's like 30 some women running for public office, this upcoming elections here in the valley alone. How does that make you feel? Like, does it make you feel encouraged, or what's your feeling towards seeing all these women from all ages running for public office?
I think it really motivates me. I'm not alone here. There's more women out there going through the same thing, questions and everything, and I'm confident to ask them, hey, did you fill out your 460? How did it go? Like, I don't know how to do it. Like, so you can't just ask anyone or feel that confidence. But there is like this sisterhood, beautiful sisterhood right now going on, and before that it should become a culture, a trend, and not only women, I mean the community.
Yeah.
So I feel really proud of all the women that are running.
You mentioned community. Sometimes I feel that, since I work at the district, and I follow a little bit of the politics here in Calexico, and sometimes I feel that there's really no interaction between the school board and city council and the city, the district and the city. I mean, at least from my end or from what I see, I don't feel there's a lot of interaction. Do you feel that these two, city council and school board, should be more active together?
Yes, yes, they should go hand in hand, because who goes to the school? Who goes to the school? It's the children. Who works at the school? I mean, there's a percentage that is here in the community. They're all citizens of the city. So I think it would really, really make a difference and be very, very beneficial that the city and the school work together.
You mentioned employees and them being citizens, and the children being part of the community, obviously. But I think something that I feel as an employee, as a parent, as a community member, is that we often kind of like, as citizens, we kind of forget, that, the top priority is the kids, their safety, their education. But, behind them, there's, everybody that's making these school run, like whether there's administration, teachers, classified. Have you had a chance to talk to, union leaders to see what they expect from a board member, what they, what they expect in terms of, making sure that they feel safe, they got the materials, or they feel compensated? Have you had a chance to talk to, the union leaders?
Yes, yes. I had the opportunity to speak to ACT president and the classified president, and then there is another organization, Parents Connect. I went ahead and reached out to the classified and certified, and then Parent Connect went ahead and reached out to me, and I think that was great. We had a conversation, very, very good conversations, and actually, I want to know their perspective, like their ideas, what's happening, what's running through their head, what do they see with their lens? Because I can say I want to do X, Y, and Z, but this is just my ideas. This is not only my community, it's everyone's, and this is a collective work and teamwork, everyone together. That's why there's people vote to represent the people, and I think it's something really important to be connected with everyone, to see what's happening, because we get involved in work and family and then other stuff, and at the end of the day, what's happening not only in your life for the school or for the city. I mean, we all have a different story. Everyone's going through something different, but that's important for me.
Yeah,
To know what's happening, their ideas.
yeah, because sometimes but you might see things as a parent, because you're obviously a parent from students here in Calexico, but yeah, sometimes it's easier, or not easier, but it's a good idea to kind of see where, or get the input from the people that are there with the kids, in the mornings. They're taking teaching them, or taking care of them in the playgrounds and stuff like this. Kind of like see what they're feeling, because sometimes I feel that there's a big lack of communication between the employees and the people that are making these decisions that may affect the way they teach, may affect their safety, or may affect their compensation, whether it's money or benefits. and sometimes, from my perspective, I feel that there's a big lack of communication. They often don't come out and talk to you. So yeah, I kind of wanted to see what your plans or goals were too, in terms of, that relationship with, the employees of the district.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have this protocol, my fiance and me, in his business and my business. And I was just talking to our client this morning about that. Our philosophy in our business, when a client is not satisfied, we make sure we give them a refund of what they paid, because the last thing we want is for them go home, pay our service, go home and talk, you know what, I didn't like the service, I paid, but I didn't like it. But in return is, you know what, we didn't give you the right service. We're not gonna pay you. I mean, we're not gonna charge you, but we want to fix this. We want to get this resolved, and we either fix what we did or we couldn't do, and we build a stronger relationship with that client. So let me just revert this to classified, certified students. If someone is, maybe let's just say, example, is going through something or needs help or resources, something's happened to their benefit, what can we do to make it better? What questions do they have? Communication. Let's figure something out together. Let's go bring this to the board meeting. So
yeah, I feel that a big part of having a good relationship with people is communication, and yeah, at least in my perspective, I feel there's a big lack of communication between the employees and the board. I mean, and I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know what our union leaders are thinking, but for at least in my perspective, I feel that sometimes they're you won't see them for months, or you'll see them at board meetings, obviously, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel that we need a little bit more communication and more face to face talk, and that's how I feel about city council members as well. I feel that a lot of times these elected officials get elected, and then they'll just show up to meetings and hide and not follow through with what they promise and stuff like that. So
you don't see them until re-election.
yeah, pretty much. So what are some of the your life experiences that you've gone through that you feel that will help you become a good board member on day one?
Okay. I think negotiating, learning about a business from scratch and developing it and helping out the clients to get more revenue, to figure out programs, what's the best, what's the ideal deductions, and then going through what's the best scenario to invest, and how can they bring back more revenue when there's business loans, when the interest, I mean, those kind of things. Just break it down in different businesses. We can name one business, selling pins. Have you heard of LeBlanc pins? They're like $2,000, $3,000.
No, I didn't. I've never heard of them.
When one of my so there's like those kind of businesses, and then trucking businesses, 3 to 6 trucks, and then employees. And okay, so a new client comes to me and tells me, you know what, I need help with accounting. I need help to figure out what's the best to write off. So it's me learning about the business, about the person, so we can figure out what's the best scenario for that company. So different, like I mentioned, different businesses, like pens to trucking to dents, to, let's just say, what other ones, selling products, services. So every time I get to know more about each business, I feel like I can navigate more easier to any other business. And I'm not saying school is a business, but there is a lot of contracts that are involved, a lot of negotiations, a lot about the employees, the staff, administration, classified, certifieds. That would be my experience with the business of my family will really help me at the board.
You were talking about earlier that you were, out handing out flyers and, gave out like 1,000 of them today. Have you been able to talk to due to COVID, have you been able to, interact with the community?
Yes, I have. I've been giving out yard signs, door knocking, and having my mask and then door knocking. And I asked, ¿me permite darle un flyer o me permite darle una información? And I say it in Spanish because 90% of Calexico speaks Spanish, so that's easier. And then they're like, oh, okay. Everyone's really open to, oh, I've seen your flyer. Is this you? And then I take off my glasses and then I take off 6 feet apart or away. Yes, it's me. Oh, okay. Yes. What ideas do you have? No. I'm here for your ideas. Are you a parent? No, I'm a grandma. Okay, what's your granddaughter? What school does he go? What school? And then they tell me, okay, they're having such a hard time in school. And then we're like, yes, me too. I'm with you. And then I don't know, but these are strangers that I build a relationship, and maybe I'll see them again. And if I see them, I'm going to remember them or they're going to remember me. But every person that I've met, I've been able to connect. And only like 2 people returned my flyer back. But I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want to say a week or 2 ago, I went to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Street. And then we were able to give like 130 something flyers. But we were able to speak to like 50 something people because they were open. They're like, oh, okay. Voy a votar. I'm going to vote. I don't, how are we going to vote? Where are we going to vote? And then we're like, okay, so the ballots are going to come through the mail. They're probably going to be here the 1st or 2nd week of October. And then, are you registered? No, I'm not sure. Okay, let's register you. So pull out your phone. And then they pull out their phone. And then, okay, so you need to go to this site, or let me text you the link, and then you go ahead and do it. And then register all your family. Are you going to register all your family? Yes. Okay. Are you gonna check every information of the candidates? Yes. Okay. So if you like the information I gave you, and if I can have your vote, and I would really, really appreciate it. You know what? We want new people. We want new faces. Thank you so much. And they tell me, some people grab my hair and they tell me, que simpática. I'm like, thank you. For me, it's really easy to speak to people, to strangers, to build relationships, because it's something my family and my dad especially, and my grandma, that they're like, Mija, you have to respect everyone, from young people, especially the oldest, the older generation. You have to respect them. And my grandma, she's from Michoacan. So she's like, she has a very strong accent, and we have great conversations, but sometimes I'm like, with like her, like she doesn't talk, she screams. So I remember when I speak to older generations, I remember how I speak to my grandma. I take that same conversation with them.
Yeah. So you've been able to kind of relate to all these parents that are struggling at home with distance learning and all that.
Yes, and I told them. I tell them, how is everything going? Oh, no puedo. I can't. I mean, sometimes I get calls from the teacher and I don't even answer them. That's what they say. And I'm like, I'm with you 100%. I mean, the kids are not focusing. And then I tell them, you know what? The first week I was going crazy. Second week, I mean, I was on my knees crying. But then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna stress. There's no point. No one wants to stress mom. But we're in this together, and right now that's the reality. And just cope slowly but surely. We're gonna get to it, and then in some future we're going to be able to go back to school, and maybe some students, a small percentage, are going to keep on staying on virtual classes. But I mean, right now it's the safest thing right now, and that's what we have.
Yeah, and I think that something that a lot of people kind of like don't see is how not only the parents and the kids are struggling, but teachers and the rest of the staff. This is something new to everybody, and obviously everybody wants to be back in the classroom, back to normal, but like you said, it's the safest thing right now. And I think it's because I'm a computer tech, so we've been getting a lot of emails and calls from parents. So I think now it's getting to a point where it's like, maybe in the beginning we would get like 50 emails and another 20 calls, but now it's like getting a little bit lower and lower numbers, because I think like everybody's getting a little bit the hang of it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of like settling down and kind of like getting into a routine at home, because it's obviously super hard to get kids to focus. It's hard when they're in class, and when they're at home it's easier to to get distracted, because I mean, I can imagine that you have 4 girls at home. It's 4 girls, right?
Yes.
So 4 girls, and one of them's doing something in class, and they're all like going at it. So like I'm assuming that they can easily get distracted or hear the other one and then turn around. And so I can imagine parents that especially in our community where sometimes there's multiple families living in one house, it might get harder to focus, find a space where they can learn quietly. Maybe they don't have a device or they don't have internet. So it's been super hard for everybody. And like you've been hearing it when you talk to the parents out there, but like you said, hopefully soon we can get back to normal. And that's what even us, we miss the kids, we miss the because I'm going to work, I go to the school to the campus, and it's super weird like not seeing any kids there or the teachers, and like we all miss everybody, and just we miss our routine. We want to go back, and I'm talking about a lot, but there's, we understand, the frustration, and I know you've seen it, talking to the parents.
Yeah, we're social creatures.
Yeah.
We want to be with people. We want to be able to interact face to face. There's that connection, that energy. But right now this is the safest thing, and hopefully next year something can be made or a strategy or a plan, so by phases we can start going back. Like I'm a student, like the children can start going back in phases, small phases, and prioritize the children in need, special education, and I mean, like that.
Yeah, I mean, something that we've noticed, we've seen that there's a lot of kids that school is their safe place, might be their only meal, and it's hard, it's been hard. Kind of hearing stories of kids struggling in that sense, and but going back to you, is there anything that you would like to add that I didn't ask you? Any closing thoughts that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I would like to talk about the food.
The what?
The meals.
Oh, the food.
Yeah, the food, the meals. I remember going to my three youngest one were first registered in Kennedy, but then I don't know, they were like, oh, she's not in this school anymore. We moved her to Cesar Chavez. You're gonna have one in Cesar Chavez, two in Kennedy, and one in De Anza. I'm like, no, I want my three youngest one. The beast came out, the mom beast. No, right? No, I want my three children in the same school. Let's figure out something. And then I spoke to Kennedy's and then Cesar Chavez. And then they were able to move them all together to Cesar Chavez. Originally, they're supposed to be in Kennedy. And then when I went to pick up food from Kennedy, the ladies, hardworking ladies from other schools, it was a lot of milk. It was mostly carrots. They never ate it. I used them for the caldo. And it was like they were in zip bags. I mean, it was okay, food okay, but it wasn't like, I feel like that was like emergency food I would use. But I would suggest, or if I'm elected, figure out something to have a more nutritious food than frozen food, because the health is really important, especially right now, because it's they're not doing the same exercise as they're doing before. The vitamins and the vitamins we need as humans, and then especially as children. But if I'm able to, and there's a possibility to figure something out, changing that food, it would be something that I would really, really look forward to, because I
think
like that.
I think because sometimes I would also go and grab some food for my son when I would go to work, and I would leave him here, like I would leave him some food from the school. But being on campus, I kind of like feel that there's a big difference in the kind of food they're getting right now, and the kind of food they get on campus, because working at the high school, I see these kids get a nice salad if they want a salad, and there's a variation of food that they can get. But I feel that right now, due to the situation and not being able to prepare salads and stuff like that, I feel that that's but I feel that I think from what I see, the kids nowadays eat out on campus from the cafeteria. I'm kind of jealous, because I feel that they're getting way better food than when I used to go to school. But I feel that right now it's different times, and that's what they have available. I feel that but it is sometimes like you'll see it's like it's kind of like questionable what they're giving, but I feel that it's because the procedure, since they can't really give out hot food, it's got to be prepackaged, and there's that's what I'm guessing the reason why.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't have firsthand information from the board, but this is just me talking like a mom.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to add, talk to the people out there and kind of like tell them why you're the one to vote for this election?
I would tell the people that the citizens of Calexico that voting for a mother, voting for a parent is very important, because we can relate to what's happening. I mean, with the virtual classes, with the food we just mentioned, with the teachers, how our children are acting up. The takeaways, the good and bads, the same questions we have. There's going to be an opportunity, a chance that if I'm elected, we're going to be able to have more connection, because I'm in the same boat as every parent. And not as a teacher, but I'm going to be a parent, having a relationship with the teacher. So it would benefit, I don't know, maybe the teachers as well. The classifieds, I spoke to a couple of people in the classifieds. They want to have someone that listens to them. They want to have a voice. Parents want to have a voice. They want to build a relationship. Every other time, have meetings with at least one board member that goes as a team or to represent the board. It would be very, very beneficial. And if I'm elected, I'm going to be open to have that communication, that connection. I only work through the tax season, and then the rest I'm with my family. So I have that time. And believe me, I'm trying to figure out what's next. Like, what book am I going to read? Because I can't just be a mom and cook and clean. No, I have to be doing something else, setting an example, finding a bigger, better version of myself. And that's the type of person and character and candidate I would vote for. And if you guys, if the citizens of Calexico can trust me and vote for me, that's what I would bring, a parent's lens, and a citizen that wants to create better opportunities for our children, for our city, and our future. Thank you.
I was gonna ask you, are you glad that you didn't run for city council? I don't know if you noticed like how kind of aggressive, I feel like the school board is kind of like, everybody's doing their own thing. They're not kind of like bashing on each other. They're just like, running their own campaigns at, their own pace. And I feel like city council is like no holds bar.
I'm kind of jealous because I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive. And that's the only thing, but the rest, no. I'm glad I'm running for a school board, but I'm not jealous that no one is bashing me or anything like that. I'm jealous on the competition, because competition brings the best out of you. Someone else comes out like that lion you have in you. But that's really good. That's really good that city is competing. And I hope you guys vote for the best that you would like.
Do you feel that the incumbents are kind of like, they feel that they have this in the bag? That's why there is really no, or is it just like, they don't, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this campaign, the
From
school board?
City and school board?
No, for school board. Do you feel that, the incumbents, because I mean, I feel that I've seen you more on social media or having events. I know you were at Pinky's, I think it was last week, right? So I see you more, than the incumbents. Do you feel that they feel like they have this in the bag?
I don't know what they feel, and I don't care. Yes. Honestly, I'm not wasting or bothering what they think or what they say or what they do. Not really. I'm just doing me, my family, my campaign, and that's what motivates me. And the people. And I mean, I'm able to meet more people, and they trust me, and they're open, and then they like my hair.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, be driving around town and see your posters, and one of the first thing I notice is, the hair. Obviously, I have no hair, so like kind of jealous that. But yeah, well, I want to thank you for taking this time. I know it's late, and I've been so busy with work and talking to all the not all the candidates, but a lot of candidates are reaching out, and they want to be on the podcast, and they want to get themselves notice, and I'm glad that they're free to talk, especially somebody from the school board, because to be honest, I've had this show for 3 years now, and I talked to one school board member, and after he heard the episode, he told me not to put it up. He just made me waste my time. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you're willing to do it, and that you're besides Gil, I think, and Carlos and Andrew from El Centro, but from Calexico, you're the only school board member that's reached out to me and asked if they want to be on, and I really appreciate that because it shows a lot that you're trying to put your name out there and trying to get yourself noticed, and we're putting a lot of hard work onto your campaign, and I appreciate your time because it's 9:46 p.m. It's and like you said, you have girls and
no, they're already in bed. I already in bed. They're like, I'm gonna have a meeting. You guys go to bed, and if I see you out the door, you guys are not getting ice cream tomorrow. No. No, but no, Jose, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be on your platform. 3 years ago, this Maggie you're meeting now wouldn't be able to speak or have this type of conversation. Toastmaster has built me for this, and it's very, very beneficial for me. It's gave me a lot of confidence. Toastmaster practice your speaking skills, gives you confidence.
What gave me confidence was I've done stand up a couple of times, stand up comedy. So that's kind of like what it's helped me, because at the beginning, if you see some of my episodes, like the beginning, the first ones, I stutter all the time, and I'm like so I do that a lot. And before, now it's like I feel a little bit more confident, and yeah, I think it was going out there and doing stand up was a big release, and it took a lot off my shoulders. So yeah, like public speaking is way easier now that I've had the courage to do it, and because it's hard. Like you're up there and you're trying to get people to laugh at your jokes, and yeah, I was talking to somebody today about that, and they're like, "Really, you've done stand up?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, it's pretty fun. Actually, Gil was the first person that I saw that was doing it in El Centro. They were doing it at La Resaca in El Centro. They had a open mic, and I went and I did it, and ever since, it's been a lot easier to talk in public.
Yeah, just feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Margarita. Well, thank you so much for your time. Once again, I want to remind everybody that this is not an endorsement. It's just an opportunity for Margarita to, come on the podcast and show what she's all about. And I want to remind everybody to vote. It's really important that you vote. It's important that all of us vote. That way we get a more diverse group of people to represent our community, because we're a diverse community. And we all need to be represented. Also want to remind everybody to wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. It's really important that we, keep these low numbers. We've had low numbers for a while now. But yeah, it's really important because we also need, lower numbers so that we can get our businesses back open and going. So it'll help everybody in the community. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.